playoff time. We're all riding high. I'm on pre-workout. Din's a little drunk. Mark's on pre-workout. Downtown is going to have to deal with our shit for a solid hour. I don't know if he's on caffeine. Buddy. I told him he should be on caffeine.
I've had a coffee and a tea today.
Okay, all right.
A
little behind, but okay. It's not
too late. 4.
So we have a lot to get to today. We're going to do some predictions for the entire league, but in reality, all that really matters is Toronto Maple Leafs. How are we feeling?
Unreal. I can't wait. The regular season is so stupid.
I'm nervous. I got to be honest with you. I'm nervous.
Oh.
I was stoked, and then I'm like, oh, this is real. We're back.
Yeah. Well, what are you most nervous? Did you guys watch Downtown's recent video?
Yes.
Okay. Mark?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
See?
Wow.
Like I feel like being
Wow.
I feel like not being nervous would be a bad thing though.
Yeah.
What are you nervous about?
Just the PTSD.
I'm not even
just that.
I'm not even worried about like ghosts and pasts or demons and demons everywhere, like Paul McLean said. I'm nervous. I don't know. I can't pinpoint one thing over the other. I'm confident in both Matthews and Marner. So let's just talk it out. I'm confident in both Matthews and Marner. I'm nervous. It's the goaltending matchup. It's the goaltending matchup. It's always been the goaltending matchup on paper, at least. I can't get past it. That's the one thing that's stopping me from joining you, Dan, and saying Leafs in 4 or Leafs in 5 or something like that.
I ain't changing, dog.
Like Jack Campbell could post a 930 or a 940 save percentage in this series, and he could still be the second best goalie in it, and no one would be shocked.
Do you think we make up the rest? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Would you be this nervous if we were facing Boston?
No. Okay. They're very good.
Is that just because the goalie?
Boston, they're a very good defensive team. They have a decent goalie as well. I know the Leafs were accused of being a one-line team at different parts of this season. If you want to see a one-line team, the Boston Bruins. They had to split up. They had to split up the perfection line to create 2 scoring lines for themselves, and that was something that it was whispered a little bit in Toronto to maybe break up Bunting, Matthews, and Marner, but then whoever suggested it was just swiftly slapped as soon as they said it because it was absolutely amazing.
Is our version
that was you, Dan?
Nylander down on the third?
What's that, Mark?
I said that. I
said, is our version of breaking up a power line by putting Willie on the third?
No, I don't even think that's breaking up a power line.
I think it's being smart. I think it's going to stay this. Like, I think Tavares playing with Mikheyev and Kasha, I think it'll produce the same amount of offense because I think Tavares is just so good at playing with guys that aren't great.
Yeah, I mean, like, you guys love numbers, right?
Love numbers.
Yeah.
John Tavares and William Nylander playing together over the last 3 years at 5-on-5. The fancy stats look awesome in terms of the expected numbers, scoring opportunities, the shot attempts, the actual shots, the high danger numbers. But in terms of the real goals, like goals for and goals against, it's 79 goals for, 80 goals against. And it's just for those two guys to be breaking even or losing in that department, there's something wrong there. Whether it's going out and getting another legitimate third option for that line, like finding that line's Zach Hyman or Michael Bunting, or those two guys just don't work together. Because if you just want to isolate it, like this year alone, the fancy stats again look good, but actual goals for, actual goals against, it's 34 goals for and 42 goals against for those two guys when they're on the ice together. It just, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work. It would
be interesting to see. I don't even know how many teams would have this 2 80-point guys on the second line and see the comparable on that. Because if you're not facing that great a competition, you would think that would be a lot more on the positive side than the negative side. And also, if you have it there, would you know what Marner's and Matthews would be? Just that overall plus minus.
Just those two guys together. So someone else can
while you look it up,
I'll come back to it.
This is my thoughts about Nylander on the third line, right? Because realistically, the second and third line, like you could even debate which line can be better offensively, defensively. But last year, he showed he could carry an entire line by himself in the playoffs. He was our best player in the playoffs, playing with who was he playing? Foligno and Kerfoot.
Yeah.
He was playing with Kerfoot and Galchenyuk.
Right. And he carried a line
out.
with like 8 points in 7 games. Like, we don't need. I would much rather those lines split apart. And if you look at the Tampa Bay's lines right next to the Leafs lines, like, I think our forwards are better. Defense, I think, is a wash. Goaltending is, as we talked about, that's something we're all a little. I mean, objectively, Campbell is just not.
Do you think having Nylander on that third line allows you to play Clifford and Simmons on the fourth line because you have 3 legitimate scoring lines?
I think you have to play them game one.
I'm saying, do you think if one of them wasn't there that Nylander might go up because then the replacement would have been Spezza or Robertson or something like that?
I think that the two are kind of unrelated. I mean, like we saw that last game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they lost 8-1. It was a real bad loss. They didn't have Matthews. They didn't have Campbell. There was a couple of other guys out of the lineup.
Didn't care.
You see,
I don't know how I feel about that though. I feel like they always
cared.
care. I feel like they always care, man. I feel like they always care.
I cared because then I got to hear about it for the next 2 weeks or 2 months or however long it is. And especially now that they're playing each other in the playoffs, you got to hear about it a little bit more. So
yeah.
But just the quick stats on Matthews and Marner together this year in terms of the 5-on-5 numbers, it's just those two guys together. It doesn't matter who the third guy is beside them.
Right.
At 5-on-5, the actual goals for and goals against, there's 60 goals for and 36 goals against. So those guys are absolutely good. And they're seeing the top matchups. They're seeing the top matchups.
Yeah.
I mean, for guys like Clifford, you just kind of circle back on that. Like, we saw how nasty that one game was, and Sheldon Keefe in his quotes today after practice was saying that he expects this series to be kind of vicious, kind of dirty. And he mentioned some stat about Tampa Bay like leading the league in scrums after the whistle or something like that.
What?
I don't
in the
think
playoffs last year.
Like,
in the playoffs last year, he said.
Okay, in the playoffs last year, but I don't think that we're going to see Clifford and Simmons play very much. But the fact that Clifford bonked Corey Perry over the head with a stick last game, and Wayne Simmons and Pat Maroon had their thing going. If we have to dress those guys just to play 5 minutes a night, just to keep those guys in check, I don't want to deal with Corey Perry for 7 games again.
Anybody that's mad at this don't realize that Tavares, Nylander, Marner, Matthews are going to add 2 minutes every game to what they were already playing, and that's going to make up for whatever other time you thought these guys were getting.
Yeah, exactly. It's all going to be situationally. If you need some momentum, they'll throw those guys over the boards for a shift or two and just get them going. And you know what? The fourth line, it was bad at the start of the new year, but ever since like the trade deadline or so, like in that game, in that 8-1 loss against the Tampa Bay Lightning, Kyle Clifford had a couple of real good scoring opportunities in tight. Wayne Simmons did his thing with Pat Maroon, and it was an effective game. And those guys seem like they're extra motivated, and they've been contributing the last little while.
Wayne seems so much better the last couple of weeks.
Wayne?
Yeah. Like, I've been harping on him all year that like he's looking pretty bad. But the last couple of weeks, he actually looks like he's contributing and like making plays,
getting breakaways.
At some point, at some point in the season, he went like 30 games without a goal and like 18 games without a fight. I believe he has a young daughter and a newborn as well at home. So it is challenging. You know, there is a life away from the arena as well.
So what you're saying is you wish we didn't get home ice advantage.
No. He got like the opposite of dad strike. He got like the opposite of dad strike. Yeah. And I mean, if he's kind of settled into a like more of a routine at home and he's mixed that in with his hockey one, good for him. I mean, it's difficult to do. Not that I would know, of course, but
well, you got something to tell us downtown?
No, I do not.
No,
hey, I saw your tweet. You were at the Jays game with somebody.
Question for you guys. Is this the first year that we can remember where we've been at least as tough, if not tougher, than the team that we're playing in the playoffs?
Okay, you downtown go, because I'm going to get mad at him.
Yes, and no. Like, Corey Perry's been a professional douchebag basically his entire career.
Him and Wayne Simmons are a wash.
Him and Wayne Simmons are like, I don't picture Wayne Simmons as a goon. I just picture him as like he's just a certified badass.
Yeah,
that's the way I picture him. I picture Corey Perry as the douchebag or the goon. Maybe that's because he's never played for the Leafs, but I don't want to have to deal with that. And Pat Maroon is Like he seems like the sweetest guy off the ice. And if you listen to him talk, of course, he cried after winning the cup in St. Louis, but now it's kind of getting old, right? He's got like the last 3 Stanley Cups or something. Like, I don't care about Pat Maroon anymore.
He does.
He's big. And his nickname is Big Rig. But at the same time, if Kyle Clifford wants to be the answer to that solution, if he wants to be the solution to that problem, I'm fine with that. There was a stat that I was mentioning in my videos a little while ago in and around the Heritage Classic. I believe it was like a 4 or 5 game stretch where the Maple Leafs threw 30 plus hits in 30 plus hits in 4 or 5 consecutive games, and that was the first time they had done something like that since they drafted Austin Matthews in 2016.
Wow.
And you're noticing it's not just Ilya Lyubushkin. Like I believe at one point from March to April, it was Mitch Marner leading the team in hits.
I'm gonna find the stat out for next time, but I would love to see what our average hits have gone up even the last 3 or 4 months, because it seems like not just Adam Lyubushkin, that we have been hitting more and that we have been, if you want to call that more tough. And also what I was going to say, Isaac, is we might have the overall more tough, but I feel like the toughest guys we have play 7 minutes, and I feel like that's different. That can be different, right? Like
it's definitely the same guys on a nightly basis, but then the rest of the team joins in on like the selective engagement. Yeah. Like it depends on who they're playing and what night it is. And there was a Bob McKenzie quote from a couple of weeks ago, basically where management came out and accused the players of taking games off. Basically, like I'm not reading the quote verbatim, obviously, I'm just paraphrasing. They basically said, why can you guys beat Carolina, Boston, Tampa Bay, Florida, but not Montreal or Buffalo? And the response from the core guys was basically like, we'll take care of business when we need to.
How do you feel about that? Because I fucking hated that. That's 25 cents.
Pisses me
off.
I
hated that.
drove 2 hours to Hamilton and sat in the absolute freezing cold.
That's what
Could not feel my hands. I wore these. I have like really nice. I have really nice gloves that I bought before the winter started.
Bring them out next time. I need to see them.
And then I have like these cheap, shitty ones with a Leafs logo on them. And like an idiot, I wore the cheap ones with the Leafs logo on them because I was feeling the passion. And my hands froze. Should never have done that. But you drive 2 hours to Hamilton, you sit in the freezing cold, and they lose 5-2 or whatever it is. Yeah. There was a scrum at the end of that game, and it was kind of exciting to see Matthew stick up for himself. I guess there's a narrative afterwards, but it's annoying. It's annoying. Pisses me off as someone who went to that game and then needed to talk about it afterwards. But
what if they had won the cup the last year? What if that was Tampa saying it?
No, it still would have pissed me off.
Yeah. Okay.
Still would have pissed me off. But to their credit, showing up when it matters the most this year against playoff teams, the Maple Leafs are 23-10-5, and that equates to 110 point pace over an 82 game season against the best teams in the league.
Aren't we tied for the best record with Colorado?
I'm not 100% sure on that. I only went through and did the tallies for the Leafs.
I didn't look, but I'm going to say yes, and we're just going to go with that.
Okay.
But
that's sick, guys.
The flip side of that is that the Lightning against playoff teams this year are 18-15-6.
Bad.
And that's an 88 point pace over an 82 game season. Yeah. It's just like the Leafs, when they say that quote, they're not lying this year. This year. We don't need to conflate it with yedo past. In the moment right now, it is true.
I'm with Schmitty. I really want to.
So do I. But this season, they've been good against the best teams in the NHL.
So I'm so binary on my thoughts about this team. It's either like, they're winning in fucking 4 games against every series, or like realistically we could just lose and it would just kind of make sense.
I want to ask, I want to start with Mark, and then we'll make our way down to downtown because you were the one that talked about it in your video. What is the main difference you see with Matthews and Marner this year that makes you believe that this year's playoffs is going to be different?
I'd say for Marner, people were harping on him that he, like, when he had that rough patch, I think just after the winter break, like, oh my God, like, we're paying this guy so much money, he sucks. And then he just tore it up. And so I feel like if he has a rough patch, I'm really hoping he learns from that and can just turn it on like he did this year. And then just for Matthews, he's just unstoppable.
He doesn't have a broken wrist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, what about you?
We're going to win it all.
And 4?
Man. The thing is, I love that we're talking to have an hour-long podcast on the fact that if Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, William Nylander, and John Tavares don't score goals, we're going to lose no matter what Jack Campbell does. All right.
But what makes you think that this year is different? Because, the reason I'm going to get downtown last, because you said downtown. Now, you didn't say why, but you said
that I think it's different because I think we're just a better team. I think we're just a better team, and eventually, like hockey's so luck. I was doing this math with my clients. If you just want to put everything at 50-50 over the last 6 years, if we lose this year, it's a 1.55% chance of losing 6 times in a row. If you put it at 50-50, 1.55. So I'm just going based on, I know that means nothing. I fucking know. 50 cents. I know it means absolutely nothing. But at one point, there's got to be a coin flip where Vasilevsky has 3 bad games in a row against us, right?
Right. Bobrovsky stretch.
Please God, say right.
Downtown, what's your thoughts?
Like going back to Mark's point about like coming out of the COVID break, Mitch Marner coming back from COVID protocol, January the 15th. That was the stat that was thrown on the broadcast basically for like 2 or 3 months, and they maybe explained it once. of the relevance of that date.
I'm laughing because I'm realizing that they always bring up January 15th, and I didn't even know why it was a relevant date.
Yeah, he was coming out of COVID
brainwashing.
Okay, I just thought they were just like cherry picking stats a bit.
And then, so from January the 15th to the end of the regular season, Mitch Marner was tied for the most points in the NHL with 76 in 46 games. Johnny Gaudreau had 76, but he did in 2 more games played. And Austin Matthews was 5th with 68 points in 41 games, 36 goals in those 41 games.
Mitch have like, maybe Johnny too now at that point, but didn't he have like the most points after the All-Star break in like the last like 15 years, 20 years?
I don't remember seeing that particular number. I just have the ones up in front of me, but if you saw it, I believe
I saw something that it was a couple weeks ago that it was after the All-Star break. He had the most points in like the last 10 years.
Don't you love the stats where it's like, Mitch Marner has the most stats since February 2nd.
At 2 p.m.
Of numbers who wear 16 and play on the left wing in the Eastern Conference. It's just like, what the fuck?
Screw you.
They always have the craziest stats.
But the reason why I think that those two can be so successful is that I think they've added layers to their game offensively this season where you never really saw Mitch Marner scoring goals from in front of the net. In fact, he's not too much of a goal scorer, but this season, what's he got? 36, something like that.
36.
He's shooting the puck a lot more. He's a lot more confident. When he's confident, he's having fun. And when he's having fun, he's one of the best players in the league.
Is this the most goals out of the 4? I think so, right?
Out of what, sorry?
Out of the top 4, like Willie, Johnny, Mitch, and Austin. Probably.
The most goals what?
Most goals total by those 4 in a season.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. With Matthews hitting 60.
Yeah.
But those guys are first in on the forecheck sometimes. They're doing the nitty gritty work down low. They're doing that work in front of the net as well. And it's paying off for them. And they're having a lot of fun doing it, whether it's celebrating on the ice. Mitch had his stupid little thing with Brady Tkachuk a couple of weeks ago.
Call him stupid.
Only Din gets to do that.
Only Din gets to. Is there something with Brady Tkachuk that I don't know about?
Oh, he lives down the street from me, so.
Cool.
I also wanted to point out the thing that frustrated me most about Mitch Marner last playoffs was, and he did it at the start of the season. This was why he wasn't getting much points. He would be on a 2-on-0, and he would just pass, or he'd be on a breakaway and he'd drop past it. And all playoffs, it'd be interesting to actually see how many shots he had last playoffs, because it was just passes. You have a wide open net, pass. He's not doing that this year. He has a shot. He's finally using it. And that opens up Austin Matthews that much more, because people respect that Mitch Marner can actually shoot and will shoot, which is leading to Austin Matthews scoring more and more. That's the main difference for me, is just like his willingness to shoot.
Yeah, I'd put in all caps, shoot the puck in the our chat all the time, and it would just piss me right off.
Pretty sure we had a 4-hour-long podcast about him not shooting the puck.
Dude, who's your guy? What do you think of Kerfoot once Bunting comes back, hopefully for game 2? Do we who's the guy that slots out, or is it dependent on how we do in game 1?
Well, right now the projected Leafs game 1 lineup is Kerfoot, Matthews, Marner, Mikheyev, Tavares, Kasha, who's going to be a game time decision, and then Nylander, Kampf, and Engvall. And then that fourth line of Clifford, Blackwell, and Simmons. Kerfoot being a fill-in for Michael Bunting, I feel like it's just because he can keep up with his speed. He's a decent passer as well, and he'll work hard.
And he's a playoff performer.
Yeah, and he's a playoff performer. He had 6 points in 7 games last year, playing center. Sorry. After Michael Bunting gets back, because it sounds like he's close, probably if it's not game 2, it'll definitely be game 3.
I feel like it's going to be game 3, else he would have just played this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's 48 hours?
Yeah, exactly. But it is encouraging.
I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. Yeah.
There's videos of him all week skating.
Yeah.
It's not anything too intense, but he's putting all of his weight on one leg, stick handling, and then putting all of his weight on the other leg, stick handling. And he looks good. He doesn't look like he's any off balance or anything like that. Of course, that's different. Doing
the way he plays, he needs to be probably close to 100%, right? To have him be as useful as he's supposed to be, and to have him play at 80% and just dwindle down as the series goes on. Don't play the first 2 games, right? That's going to be 96 hours off, 120 hours off.
Well, like on evolvinghockey.com, they have the color coded like GAR charts, and I believe yellow is for penalties drawn. I've never seen the bar bigger.
He's gonna get Kadri next year, isn't he?
So to take the abuse that he does, he definitely needs to be closer to 100% if we're gonna want him to draw those penalties. But then again, stuff just isn't called in the playoffs anyway.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it's worth it being that sell job artist. You know, you're going out there just trying your hardest to draw a call, but they're not going to blow the whistle.
Maybe when we face Colorado in the finals, Kadri will get
my boy.
Against Bunting.
Yeah. How funny would that be if Kadri got suspended against us?
It'd be so fitting. Redemption.
Downtown, you can probably tell me this. What's the rules on expanded rosters, especially now that the Toronto Marlies have missed the playoffs? What is the rules on expanded rosters for the playoffs? And who do you think we bring up?
Oh boy, I know that the salary cap doesn't apply in the playoffs. I know down the stretch, you're allowed to have 4 emergency call-ups, and those guys like you have to like denote or not like declare a denote, but once you call one guy up afterwards, that's your emergency call up. But I think they have access to everyone. I could be wrong on that, but there's so many guys that you would consider calling up anyway, like guys like Nick Robertson or an Alex Steves or Joey Anderson, who played in the final regular season game.
Is Aberzazi on the roster now?
Yeah, he would probably be another guy.
Bobby McCann, the Leafs possibly. He would play.
Yeah, they signed him to a future NHL deal. So I don't believe that he would be that they would have access to him. Yeah, they've thrown the word future. I didn't even know that they could do that. They could just sign a guy to a contract that starts next year.
At least we do what we want and then get fined for it.
Yeah. Robida is still on our roster right now.
Oh, he's locked in my basement right now.
It's in the closet. That's why the door's broken.
Stefan, stop.
But they're gonna have 15, 16 guys that they can use it forward for this playoff run. They're gonna have 8 or 9 guys on their blue line that they can call upon. And we saw Peter Mrazek practicing, so maybe they'll have 3 goalies.
Don't say that. I'm starting to have hope for a minute.
Does it not feel?
That was more of a joke. I have to say that. It was more of a joke.
Okay, goalie, but he's actually way more frustrating just by how much he gets hurt. Like, it takes away from any goodwill I have for him, because I don't even want to see him there, because he'll go and we'll be like, one podcast being like, yo, what if he comes out and plays like really good Mrazek and he gets hurt in the first period? And
I was so hyped
about Kasha.
Yeah. I was so hyped.
Don't talk about Andre like that.
It's actually Anze.
It's Kamikaze Kasha.
Yeah.
But I was so happy for Peter Mrazek after he played that really good game against the Florida Panthers. I was hyping him up. I was getting ready to talk about him in the video. Gone for the rest of the season.
Gone. Yeah. See, that's the thing, right? Like, he is an okay goalie when he plays. I think he's completely fine. Like, he's nothing special. But like, the fact that we can be like, oh well, Campbell's hurt, but Mrazek might be ready. No, I don't want to do it. If Campbell gets hurt, season's over. Let's just stick it at that.
Hey, I know the SHL is the same as the NHL.
I'd love to.
And Kallgren won it, so I'm just saying. Let's talk about Jack Campbell.
Yeah, let's talk about Jack Campbell. Except get rid of your stupid stats. I love how an award is a stat now.
Oh, so he won the SHL championship, dude.
I know. It's an award. You're awarded it.
He did. Okay. He did play really well in that playoff.
Didn't he play insane?
Like 942 save percentage. Like Jack Campbell started the year type save percentage. Okay, let's talk about Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell started this year with a 942 save percentage in his first 20 games. And then in a game against the Minnesota Wild, he gets run into really hard by Marcus Foligno. Like if you watch the replay on it, he looked shaken up afterwards. His next 20 games, he had an 885 save percentage. So he went from being like the best goalie in the entire league to legitimately one of the worst. The Leafs claim that the rib injury that they held him out for 2 to 3 weeks or so happened about a week or so before they said that he was injured. But the 20 games were over the span of about a month or two. I don't know. The numbers from the first.
They can lie. They lie. I guarantee they lie about things like that all the time.
It could be a situation. Yeah. Well, if you're looking at the goaltending situation this year, like we talked about Peter Mrazek, like Jack Campbell gets hurt. Okay, Peter Mrazek is there. No, he's not. And then afterwards, what do you really do? We didn't really know that Kallgren could handle NHL games. I don't have his numbers up in front of me. I know that
895 or some shit. 895. It's okay. It's good enough.
Whatever, right? I mean,
it's awful. Like legitimately, it's terrible. But that's
Joseph Woll was okay in the games that he played, but
I forgot he played.
He was hurt. He was hurt afterwards, and that's why Kallgren even got the call. But first 20 games of the year, 942, the next 20, 885. You want to believe that there was an injury or something that happened there. And because of the options behind him, maybe if he's a little banged up or whatever like that, it's Jack. He's not going to say anything. Or, if it's just something small, he's going to try to play through it.
I wonder if that has to do with it a bit. Not even athletes, but Jack specifically.
It's the mental thing. It would also be like the team just,
could lose your net.
Yeah, it's a contract year. I mean, that's tough. Like you want to, like if you're hurt.
I have friends that are friends with Jack, and the way he acts is very much like he wouldn't say anything ever.
Like he's very stoic.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he goes from being one of the best goalies in the entire league to one of the worst goalies in the entire league, and people are writing like sonnets about how bad the defense is and essays about the goaltending and stuff like that. And it's just it comes down to the defense wasn't very good, but the goaltending wasn't really helping them out anyway. And then they go out in the trade deadline and they improve on their blue line, by getting Mark Giordano, and his play is elevated. Timothy Liljegren's. The blue line's been solid. The blue line's been solid. They're 15.
We haven't talked about it yet. We haven't.
15.
How long is this podcast 15. How cool is that?
They are 15-3-2 since the trade deadline. If you want to remove 2 games against Montreal and Buffalo, they're 15-1-2two. The Maple Leafs are coming into this thing.
I got chills right now. Let's go, baby.
Like the 8-1 game, Justin Ball was on the ice for like 5 goals, and he's not going to play.
Yeah, exactly.
But to go back and touch on Jack Campbell, he comes back from injury. His last 9 games of the year, he's 7-0-2 with a 915 save percentage.
That's perfect.
And his last 4 games, they are against guys like the Islanders, the Flyers, the Panthers was a pretty good game.
But you just told us that the guys in front of him don't care against those teams, so that's not really a good argument.
You know what? It goes hand in hand, right? You can pull.
Yeah, no, it goes both ways. It goes both ways.
Yeah, it definitely does go both ways.
I feel like he's going into the playoffs with confidence.
I think he's fine. I think he thinks he's fine.
Because last year, I remember we really slumped, and like Freddie looked like trash going into the playoffs.
But it's like, okay, it's like, what goalie do you think is going to show up? Is it the 942? Is it the 885? Is it the 915? I mean, going back to March 20th of last year, to the playoffs, that's when he took over for Frederik Andersen as the starter when he came back from injury. March 20th through the playoffs to December the 4th, when he got run into by Marcus Foligno. He played in 45 out of a possible 56 games and had a 931 save percentage. What sample are we placing our faith in? the 45 out of 56 games, the 942 to start the year, the 885 in the middle, or the 915
What sample
to
do we
close out the
need?
year.
915.
I think all we need is 915, right?
Yeah.
The Leafs finished with 115 points. They set a franchise record for wins at home, most points.
Let's guess. I know what you're doing. Let's guess.
With the
I'm going to guess 894.
With the 20, well, I don't even know the number, but it's the 29th ranked 5-on-5 save percentage. They deal with that bottom tier goaltending.
That's
and
insane.
It's like the defense just was not that bad. You can't convince me of it. It was not that bad. Like
Justin Hall might legitimately be our 8th defenseman.
He is.
Yeah.
Like
he is. He's not playing.
That's the only time that I've got excited to say the word Justin Hall.
Just even looking at last year was Hutton was our 8th man, right? So
that wasn't he your 7th?
Who cares?
Yeah. I think honestly, Matt Holloway might have been our 8th defenseman.
See, but to a better point, when Jake Muzzin went down in the playoffs against the Montreal Canadiens, it was Travis Dermott playing in the top 4.
Yeah.
The year before that, it was Martin Marincin.
Yeah, Marty.
Now it's not. Now it's
Marty. Hey, boy.
Last year's D pairings, because Mark sent in this morning, Riley Brody, Muzzin Hall, Sandine Dermott. That was game 1. So that was prior to the Muzzin injury, and we already looked with Labushkin.
It would have been Hutton coming in,
being a legitimate top 4 guy, and Giordano, who's looked insane offensively and defensively, and he's a great leadership.
Perfect.
He's a god.
Yeah, looks
perfect.
Exactly
what we need.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Exactly. And so was Labushkin. And what Mark and I were talking about in the last podcast is like Labushkin does make some mistakes. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But it was because I brought up the point. I was like, when Justin Hall makes mistakes, we're like, go fuck yourself. We hate you. And then when Labushkin makes mistakes,
I'm not paying for that swear word.
Labushkin gives away a pass and they score. I'm like,
yeah, it's fine.
But see, it's not that hard to win us over.
Yeah.
Whoever says the media is hard to win over has not seen Ilya Labushkin play.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So, like a better way to phrase it is that the more Justin Hall is probably a more talented player, but you feel more comfortable with Ilya Labushkin in the lineup.
I just don't want the floor being very low, even if that means the ceiling might be a little bit higher when it comes from a defenseman of their caliber. Right? I'd rather have the floor higher than the ceiling be lower. I'm okay with the ceiling being lower if the floor is higher when it comes to that player.
I would
if
also
we flip you upside down, does that change?
I could flip upside down. I guarantee I could.
I also like the fact that Labushkin doesn't push opposing players into our goalie after the puck's covered. When we only have one competent starting goalie. I really like that fact. So that's cool.
Keys to the night. Don't push any players into our goalie.
Man.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. And then like pulling him off, being like, what are you doing on? Oh man. Anyways. I don't mind the guy. He seems like a good guy too, but I'm happy he's our 8th man. And let's hope we don't have any injuries. Now, how short of a leash is Jake Muzzin on?
Oh boy. He goes into the playoffs not at 100%, which is disappointing because that's been the last couple of years for him. And it's tough. It's not necessarily his fault. He's coming back from 2 concussions this year, plus whatever he was dealing with coming into the year. I don't know. Like, that's why I floated the idea of going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen in my video, just because you weren't going to play Clifford and Simmons very much anyway. And if you're looking at the blue line, like, I'd rather be able to play defense than worry about what goes on after the whistle. Like, if we're ranking things like on a priority basis here, like, I'm not saying that the stuff after the whistle or playing tough doesn't matter, but not before just playing defense. So I like Rasmus Sandin is coming back and he's hurt. He's coming back from injury. A guy like Jake Muslin's not on 100%. If he goes into a game already at 90 and then he tweaks something, now he's at 80-75, are you going with 5 D-men at that point? Are you forcing him to play injured anyway? No, but in the course of that one game. That game, that's it. You're locked in with those 6 guys. Are you going with just 5 guys? Are you sitting him? Are you forcing him to play hurt?
He's not coming back for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
if he gets hurt, he's not coming back.
If you went with 11-7, it cushions the potential for a Jake Muzzin injury in one game, where that one game just doesn't become a complete write-off. And it also allows you to play those guys situationally and ease Rasmus Sandin back into the lineup, because having him as a healthy scratch, like, that's a really good player to just healthy scratch.
Because if we lost, man, we'd all be talking about that, wouldn't we? That'd be
No.
something. I think.
Yes,
I think
yes.
that'd be
I
a
think
talking
the difference
point.
between the players is minimal enough that it would just be like reaching at straws at that point to like talk about that. Where like the difference between Sandin and anyone in the lineup right now, it's like, it's not crazy. It's not like, oh my God, I can't believe he's not in the lineup. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
how many minutes do you think he's going to play for that first game, Jake? If he, let's say he doesn't get hurt in the first period,
Him and TJ Brody are going to be relied upon.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean, right? Like, if he's playing
nervous.
with, like, if he was playing with Liljegren, let's say that's pairing, you play them 12 minutes, we're all happy, right? But he's playing with Brody.
But
I don't want to play with Liljegren, by the way.
The nicest thing about having Mark Giordano and Timothy Liljegren there is that you can use TJ Brody and Jake Muzzin as your shutdown pair if you want to. If they're not working, or if one of them is a little bit banged up in one game, you have another option.
Mm-hmm.
You have Giordano Liljegren that you can use in the same matchups if you turn to it. And Riley and Lyubushkin can do their thing. If you need to switch things up on the fly, you can always throw Giordano and Brody together. You could put Liljegren with Morgan Riley and just have offensive dynamite out there. There's lots of different options that they can change things up on the fly with, and that's what I really like about this blue line. So maybe, the 11-7 thing, Jake Muzzin getting hurt, maybe it's a talking.
It's not going to happen.
Sure, but they have options. They have options internally. Yes. They can switch things up on the fly if need be. I'm really comfortable with this team's blue line. I really like it.
Yeah. More than we have.
I think the best we've ever had.
I think Muzzin either is going to be fine or not play the second game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think we're not going to be mad at him, or he's not playing the second game.
And if he comes out and doesn't play well in the first, you can shelter him because the rest of our defensemen are top four, right? Like, I think pretty much anyone on our defense can be top four on most teams in the league, which is so cool. Well, anyone, can you remind me when before he got hurt, Sandin had a stretch of about 5 games where he was looking extra awesome. Who was he playing with during that time?
I believe it would have been Justin Hall.
It would have been Hall.
Really?
I know he had a stint with Lily. He had a stint with Lily for a bit.
No, because that was before we would have had Bush, right?
Yeah, before Bush,
which
Gino.
Means that Brody would be playing with Riley. Which means Riley would be playing with Brody. Which means who's on the right side?
Muzz?
Dermott, Hall.
Maybe it was with Dermott. I'm not 100%.
It's one of those two.
Gosh.
Yeah.
It might have been Brody for a little bit. I'm not 100% sure.
Sandin was
forgotten how he plays.
He was looking amazing for those 5 before.
They got Lyubushkin, I think it was like February 20th or something like that. And then the trade deadline was when they announced Sandin was going to be out for potentially the rest of the regular season. So there was
maybe a couple
like
games
a 2-3 week span.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Man, what a cool crowd.
I love the Boosh.
Yeah, the Boosh. For a goal scoring Boosh, Brian McCabe Bushkin. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Stop.
Hey,
you want me to grab my youth? Want me to grab my youth small fucking McCabe jersey out of the closet? That's $1.
Just don't disturb Stefan.
Nice. By the way, I don't even know if he said it. We're doing a swear jar for Din. That's why he keeps tallying up every time he swears. 25 cents are going to some Leafs charity. We'll figure out what it is, but we'll be up to like $2,000.
You have to buy a Clifford jersey.
Yeah, buy a Clifford jersey. A Clifford Toronto Marlies jersey too.
I'm not scared. You think I'm scared? I paid $120 for this stupid ass shirt.
Let's do our predictions for the entire playoffs, and we're going to end with the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right. So let's start off in the Western Conference, which is a joke of a conference, and it is bullshit that Dallas and Nashville are in the playoffs. It's so sad. Like, could you imagine first round playing the LA Kings right now? Like,
Saros is hurt. Isn't Saros hurt?
Yeah, Saros is hurt.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So wait, isn't Rittich their guy right now?
Oh yeah, baby.
I think
Big
so.
save Dave. Yep.
Okay.
He ran into his old goal post and almost knocked himself out the last game.
Oh, man.
out the last game.
Oh, man. Oh boy. Okay.
I could have lied there. You would have still believed.
Yeah. And then he would have cross-checked the goalpost or something because he's Czech. So let's start off with that Colorado-Nashville series. Let's start downtown, go up to Mark.
Do you want to start there?
We're going to snake going back the next series. So downtown, how many games is Colorado winning it in?
I'm going to say 5. There's going to be one game where Big Save Dave just remembers how to play goalie. I'm gonna give him one game. Okay. If it is him in net, I'm not 100% sure if they're maybe going to go with Connor Ingram or not. Yeah. That would be their third guy.
Doesn't sound real. Connor Ingram sounds like a small forward for the Heat.
He played for the World Juniors, did he?
He played for the World Juniors. He was in Tampa Bay's system a little bit before that, and then now he finds himself in Nashville. But yeah, I mean, the Avs have Calgary back. I believe they're gonna have Landeskog back as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. He was out. There was a weird LTIR situation. Well, I believe he had surgery. But I think that he'll be back for that playoff series. If he is, I'm gonna give Nashville one game just because they've had some guys with career seasons.
Nashville won 3 to the last 3 to the 4 against each other. I know that doesn't matter because Saros isn't playing though.
Yeah. Getting Landeskog back is a major cog back in their lineup, though. Din, what's your what's your prediction?
Avs in 6.
6? Mark?
Yeah.
I think I'm also going to go 6.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
You go Nashville in 7.
What about you?
Just to switch it up.
No.
Saying Colorado in 4 would have been switching it up.
Yeah. Nashville in 7. We're going for it.
They're going to have their clappers out, and it's going to piss me off.
Just to confirm, Landeskog is on track to return for game 1.
Perfect.
Just to confirm, Isaac is in fact an idiot.
Does that count towards the swear jar?
No, I'm not 4 years old. Fuck that.
Cost
$1.50. $1.50.
All right, next one. Right. St. Louis and Minnesota. Mark, start us off. I know you probably watched a lot of Minnesota and St. Louis games this year, so I know you have a very very good opinion on this one.
The season series is that every game won by St. Louis. All three.
Okay.
St. Louis.
And all of them happen this month. Weird.
4. It's going to be a sweep.
Jesus.
Wow.
All right. Why?
The Blues getting it done.
Why?
Because, like you said, I watched all these Minnesota games. I know they're garbage.
Okay. Don't ask him why when you just said Nashville in 7.
But come on, we're all about hot takes. Okay, Din, what's your guess?
Wild in 7.
Wild in 7?
I'm gonna go Blues in 5.
Oh wow!
I can't remember the last time I've seen a team with 9 20-plus goal scorers.
Shit.
They just have so much of a balanced attack. Ville Husso's absolutely stood on his head this year. And if something goes wrong with him, they got Jordan Binnington behind him, who's an absolute madman. Just an animal, really.
Husso with a 919.
They should put Binnington on the 4th line.
And the Minnesota Wild have always been pretenders. So
yeah.
That's why I said it before.
Like it's of no disrespect to their fan base or the team or the players on that team. I just can't picture them as anything other than.
You heard it here first. Downtown thinks everyone in Minnesota and their team sucks.
100%.
Everyone subscribe to his channel if you're a Minnesota fan. Yeah, I'm gonna go St. Louis in 7. Just because they have a little bit more playoff experience. And it's going to be a good series, though. It's going to be a lot of like 1-0, 2-1 games, which is going to make me not want to watch them. The next series that we're going to go for is the Calgary versus Dallas series. And we're going to start snaking back downtown.
The Calgary Flames are going to absolutely demolish the Dallas Stars. If you're going to pick a series where there could be a sweep, I think it's going to be this one. Jacob Markstrom's just way too good. I believe the Flames have 4 40-goal scorers, or is it? Or sorry, 3. I think they have 3 40-goal scorers. with Johnny Gaudreau, Matthew Tkachuk, and Elias Lindholm.
All on one line.
And what did Mangiapane get?
Like it's just
because he was in first for a while.
That's absolutely insane. And they pair with that some really big guys on their blue line, and they play a real heavy style of game as well. The Stars do too, and they have some guys up on their first line. They have one of the best first lines in the NHL, but that Johnny Gaudreau, Matthew Tkachuk, Elias Lindholm, and then
Mangiapane with
35 goals this season. He cooled off a lot towards the second half.
He was in first for the first like month and a half, wasn't he?
Something like that, yeah. But yeah, if there's gonna be a series where you're gonna pick a sweep, I think it could be this one.
God, imagine that team with Monahan not playing like shit.
$1.75. He's hurt right now.
No, he's healthy. He's hurt. He's healthy. Yeah.
No, I think he's out for the playoffs.
Yeah, no, he is. He's healthy. Like he's out. That was their way of getting.
I didn't see your ass.
He's going in my closet. Is what I was saying. Sorry.
Mark, you didn't even guess. What's your prediction?
It's not a guess. I don't guess here. I know exactly what's going to happen. Sweep. Done. Sweep.
All right.
I told you. Don't say the word guess around me.
Tyler Sagan's probably my favorite non-Leaf. I'm going Dallas in 7.
Wow. Now that's a hot take.
Yeah.
Okay.
Upset.
Okay. Tyler Sagan and beer pong. That counts.
I guess so.
Calgary in 4.
I'm going to go Calgary in 6. I think that Dallas does have some playoff experience. I think they're a big team that can play well in those type of moments. I think they'll put up a fight, but it won't be much. Calgary's always been like, what did they add in the offseason? I remember in our preseason, and it'll be interesting when we go back.
We were disappointed in them.
Yeah, we were like, they didn't really do too much. Like this team, I think
they lost Giordano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like they're still that.
But it was more.
team.
It was more loss aversion. They should have been already better than what they were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were saying what did they do, but they were playing worse realistically than they should have.
Yeah, and then they also added a guy like Tyler Toffoli mid-season, and they get Kalle Yarncroc as well. So they add someone in their top 6. They add a versatile player that can play the wing or center in your top 9 as well. You lose a guy like Sean Monahan, so that is tough. I mean, he at least in like a third, fourth line role. He is a guy. He is an NHL.
Scored 82 points one year.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I mean, I think they added Nikita Zadorov this offseason and Erica Branson as well, so they may want to be bigger.
Yeah. Oh man,
and Daryl Sutter.
Why did I choose Dallas?
No one knows. Nobody knows. We have a texting group.
I'm gonna be so
we're asking why you did that.
Yeah, Mark, clip this. That's what I'm doing with my Nashville pick. Okay, next series we have. This is an interesting one: the LA Kings versus the Edmonton Oilers, and we're gonna snake back. Mark, you start us out.
LA versus Edmonton.
Yeah.
I want to say Edmonton, but man, I'll go Edmonton in 6.
I'll pay someone $5 to watch one game in this series.
I kind of want to watch. I think it'll be interesting.
What happens.
Rattle off 40 F-bombs instead.
I'm not scared.
Does that math check?
Yeah. Close enough. We'll call it. It's 20, but that's fine.
20, okay, yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Din, you had the LA Kings being the hot take moving into the playoffs at the start of the year.
Yeah, you look real
Are you
smart.
rolling with?
I know. You guys want to keep complimenting me, or are you guys done yet?
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I could eat it. No, I love the Kings, but they have Doughty's out, so I'm not. I think Doughty in the playoffs is like a good leader for that team, and not having them there is probably quite big. I also think Edmonton is one team that could just suck, and no one be surprised. Right? Yeah. If you shut down one of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, Downtown brought up why he likes St. Louis, and that's because they have 9 20 goal scorers. Anyone know how many 20 goal scorers the Oilers have?
2. 3. Zach Hyman, like 20 plus goal scorers. I think he had 24.
Everyone else talks. Sorry.
So I'll go with my prediction. We'll come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can just shout it out in the middle of me answering.
Yeah. As usual. All right, Declan, what's your guess?
So between I went to two Leaf games this year. One of them was in Ottawa and the other was in Toronto against the LA Kings. And the LA Kings play a neutral zone trap. They don't play offense at all. They just sit back and they strike off the rush if you make a bad line change or just whatever. They pick off turnovers in the neutral zone. They're a very boring team to watch. Definitely not having Drew Doughty hurts, but as Leaf fans watching that series with the Montreal Canadiens last year, they're a very similar type team. Although the Montreal Canadiens didn't play a neutral zone trap, they played a similar sort of thing to it. For the Oilers, who I think are an unpolished version of the Leafs, I think that they'll struggle against the LA Kings, but I do think that they will win because they're a much more talented team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say Oilers in 7.
Oilers in 7. Okay. And Din, did you find out how many 20 goal scorers they have?
No, my internet died on me. So
okay.
But you're still here.
I'm still here.
Yeah, interesting how that works. I'm gonna go with the Kings in 7 because I just want them to win. Sorry, Edmonton Oilers fans. I just work with a guy we have a $50 bet of who wins more games, Leafs or the Oilers in the playoffs, and I just got to go with the LA Kings.
They have 5 20 goal scorers.
Edmonton is Puljujarvi.
Evander Kane ended up getting 22. Yamamoto.
You guys know that Kane had 22 and 43?
Draisaitl, McDavid.
Jeez.
I want to say that most of those are on the power play because I looked at his 5-on-5 numbers.
I thought they were brutal.
Weeks ago and they were bad.
I think that's just fake news.
Yeah.
I think they only have 2.
I think that's fake. I think I'm lying.
How good was that Evander Kane pickup when no one wanted him? And then he was almost a point per game player.
Yeah, frig.
39 and 43.
I hope it's not going to turn into like an Odell Beckham type situation. But okay, so let's get to the Eastern Conference. Like I said, we're going to end with the Leafs, so we're going to start in the Metro, and we're going to start with the Carolina Hurricanes series against the Boston Bruins. What do we got downtown?
The Canes versus the Bruins. I know that Frederik Andersen is not going to play game 1. I don't know if Antti Ranta is healthy to start that series either, because I know at one point both those guys were hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he is, he's coming off of an injury. The Canes are a much better team. But we know the Bruins, like they're going to be pulling antics after the whistles. They got some guys who can step up and play playoff hockey as well. I'm going to go Canes in 7. I'm going to go Canes in 7 though.
Okay.
So Ranta's been playing and he's been okay. There was a while there that he was not okay, but he's played he's been around the last 2 weeks. I think the Canes are going to win. They're deep, man. Right? I was listening to the Steve Dangle podcast, and they were calling the Canes out, saying without Freddie, they're nothing. But did anyone here ever think that Freddie was going to be any good, anyways?
I mean, without
That's
Freddie,
cold.
they're nothing.
It's cold, dude.
Well,
He's going to get
come
best
on.
votes.
No, but I mean, okay, what kind of goaltending does Carolina need to win this series? 900?
I'm going to say 905, 910.
Can Ranta do that?
Probably.
Cool. Done. All right. Carolina in 5.
I'd have to listen to what they were saying, but that they're amazing. Last year they had Nedeljkovic and Mrazek, and they were
took them 7 games to beat Nashville last year, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's why Nashville's going to win. Playoff experience, they're great. So Dan,
they're going to win because they lost.
Yeah, that's the same logic I'm going to use for the Leafs, by the way, when it gets to my turn. Okay, Dan, how many games is Carolina winning in?
I'm going to say 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll close out in Boston.
Going Boston in 6.
Oh wow.
So whoever wins that series, is that who we face?
I don't trust Carolina. Like Carolina may have been unreal, but it's still Boston. I feel like they're just gonna pull it out. And I feel like overall their points like their players are a little. I feel like they have just as much depth as Carolina.
Yeah, I mean Boston does. Are they first in the league in like goals against or something like that? I think I think Boston.
Yeah, they are. They are. No. It was the shit. I can't remember if it was the Flames or the Hurricanes that won the Jennings Trophy.
But they were up there. They have a great, which I guess they have. The Hurricanes are too. So
they're one of the best teams in terms of expected goals against and goals against in the league. They're one of the best defensive teams.
Yeah. So Mark, you still going? Yeah, I think.
Carolina. It was Carolina. Carolina won the Jennings.
Wow, so that's gonna be another low-scoring series. Yeah, I think it'll be 6 games for Carolina. I just think they're too good. Their depth is just too.
Is it the winner of that we face?
It'll depend on the Florida.
It'd be the winner of Florida Washington,
right?
Which is bullshit.
Yeah, it is bullshit.
I'll take Washington, but it's not going to happen.
Let's just get to that one.
Yeah, let's go to that then.
Mark. Washington,
Florida. Florida. I'll say in 5.
That's me too. Din?
I'm going 7 because I think Florida. I don't know. Does anyone else just think it's Florida? So it's Florida, right? Like that just
goes Thornton, baby.
No, Ekblad's out. The same way when we say, well, it's Boston, but in a positive light, right? And then we say it's Florida.
Yeah,
it's like when people probably talk about the Leafs, right? Yeah. It's the Leafs,
including us.
Yeah.
So wait, how long is that?
Not us right now, though.
Is Ekblad out for the entire playoffs?
He's been out. Yeah, he's out for the whole year, isn't he?
I thought he was supposed to be coming back for playoffs.
I think. I don't know the latest on him, but I think he said he was going to be back for the second round.
Oh, perfect.
But I don't. But I also don't know if Ovechkin's ready to go or not.
Oh, true.
There's a chance Ekblad returns for game 1. He practiced for the first time a week ago. So man. Probably not.
The Kucherov treatment.
But
all right.
Yeah. If we're comparing timetables on Ekblad practicing for the first time a week ago, Bunting played in his first full practice today.
Ekblad was out for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
with
different injuries.
That's just that's like
just getting back into the swing of thing.
That's like a fitness thing too, not just like the injury itself.
Yeah. Downtown, what's your guess for this series?
Which series is this?
Florida, Washington.
Florida, Washington. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Florida sweep. I'm gonna go with the Florida sweep. I don't know if Ovi's coming back for game 1 or if he's even at 100%. I know that he's a playoff performer. Even the years before they won the Stanley Cup, he was, if you look at his numbers. But this Florida team is they're animals. I think they scored the most goals in the last like 25 years as a team or something like that, or 20 years as a team.
Crazy.
They're dynamite offensive team with Ekblad in the lineup or not.
Yeah,
I think they won 13 games at one point without him in a row.
He started skating yesterday, Ovi. Practicing.
Okay, so
practicing. Not skating, practicing.
He's probably back for game 1.
But how back?
Yeah,
really.
All he has to do is just stand at the dot.
Fair.
Take a clapper.
Rangers and Pittsburgh downtown. Last one before the Leafs.
Rangers and the Penguins. I think that the Penguins goaltending faults them yet again. And if you're looking at the goaltending matchup in that series, and we'll get to the Leafs in Tampa, I just think the team with the better goalie is ultimately gonna win. So I'm gonna say the Rangers in 6.
Downtown. I mean, Dintown.
I literally agree with that. I think Dintown, Rangers in 6. I think when in doubt at any time, you just pick the team with better goalie, right? So
it's like QBs in the NFL.
I think everything seems pretty even on both ends of that series, except the goaltending, and then they have Shesterkin, who had like a 940. So I'm taking him.
And Mark,
I'll go Rangers in 5.
Oh wow, okay, that confident.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna go Rangers in 7. I think we all have Rangers.
The old boys are done.
I think the Pittsburgh will bring it to 7. Now
all right,
we're on to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Who wants to go first?
Not me.
I'm gonna go last.
Okay, Schmitty first. I'll take second. Isaac,
I'll go third. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
All right, I'm going Leafs in 6.
Okay. Closing out in Tampa.
Why?
We can't. If we go to game 7, we're losing.
I know. So I agree on tenfold, and I'm saying Leafs in 6 specifically because I don't want it to go 7 games.
Yeah.
There's no actual guessing or anything like that. There's no stats I can bring up. I don't want to watch a game 7. I also don't want to watch my team lose. So it'll be 6 games.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys took the words right out of my mouth. I think the Leafs are either 5 or 6.
Oh.
I think that
Jack
Campbell.
I pick one.
I'll go 5 just to switch it up. I'll go 5 just to switch it up.
You don't want the triple.
I would love for them to finish out the first round win at home and be able to celebrate with all of the fans who are paying a fortune in their mortgage to go see them. That would just be so cool. And like see Mitch Marner cry for the right reasons this time. That's that's my hope. I'm gonna go with the Leafs in 5, and I think that this series is like it's going to be a lot of close games, but I think we're going to dominate the high danger downtown. You touched on this in your video, and I'm sure you'll touch on it again. But we dominated may not be the right word, but we led in high danger shot attempts. We led in offensive possession. We led in so many major categories against the Lightning this season and against other playoff teams. It just seems like there's a few games this year. There's a Washington game, there's a Winnipeg game, there was a Florida game, there was the Tampa 6-2 game where it just like we were the best team in the league. Like there's just no stopping us. And I think that we bring that again. I think that they're tired of being the butt of jokes. We're tired of being the butt of jokes. We might as well believe.
Did you just say butt of jokes?
Yeah. Speaking of, when we do win this series, this guy's getting smoked on air, and I'll probably smoke both of them at the same time because that'll be
6 inside, baby. 6 inside.
I'm going to be going to a Leafs bar in Vancouver. Marty, if you're watching this, you're going to come join us. Anyone who's watching this who's from Vancouver is welcome. I'll try and go to all of the Leafs bars. And for second round, I'm going to try and fly back, and we're going to go way early to the Maple Leaf Square, and we're going to all watch the game together, get a huge, massive Leaf fans together. And honestly, just make it past the first round. I have complete faith in this team. Downtown, you're up.
If you're coming to the tailgate, I got an email earlier today that there's like an online registration that you need to do.
Crazy.
So just is anyone who's listening, there's a heads up on that.
Send it to me, Schmitty.
There's like a zone 1 and zone 2, something like that. You need to, and both of them open up at different times too. I don't know.
Isaac, are you going to come down?
Second round, I'm going to fly back. Yeah.
Okay.
So I am a Leafs fan. I'm surrounded by Leafs jerseys 24/7. They wrap all the way around the basement. I dedicate 20-30 hours a week to researching and talking about this team and producing content for them. I've done it for the last 2-3 years. The first half of that, I did it for absolutely nothing in return, just because I enjoyed it. That sounds weird to say. Both
That's
of
us, though.
the last 2 years, I threw stats at the wall until just hoping one of them would stick. The Leafs were even though it was the 8 and 9 seed, they were the better team in that Columbus series. They lost. The Montreal series should have been just an absolute walking over, and it was not. I think that this team is better than last year's team. I do believe that. I think that the guys that they've brought in have made this team a lot better. The guys who were on the team last year have improved and taken steps forward. it's such a shitty reward to have a season where you set franchise records in terms of points, wins at home, to be fourth in the NHL, and you're rewarded with the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. They're 15-3-2 since the trade deadline, 15-1-2 if you want to exclude the games against Montreal and Buffalo, which don't matter. They're 14-2-2 since they took Nylander off of John Tavares' wing. They're so good. They're so good. I don't know what type of goalie we're going to get in Jack Campbell in this playoff series. I can't say that they're going to win. I can't do it. I can't put myself through that again, hyping myself up to that point. I said all the stats because I researched them. I have them, but I can't put myself through that. I need a real good game one to get me back on that train. I don't need them to win the series. I need a real good game one, and then I'll be right back in it. As an objective, as a journalist, that's my answer. As a fan, I want them to win it in 4 or 5 or 6, 7. I don't really care how many games.
We need a prediction.
I think that the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to
win. Downtown the journalist, downtown the fan.
Right in the middle.
Go.
Downtown the journalist says Tampa Bay Lightning in 6. The fan says Leafs in 7. That's just, it is what it is. I need that good game, but if we get that real good game one from Jack Campbell and they win, you can sway downtown the journalist to say Leafs in 6.
We're gonna have to start calling you Suburb Brown, because
I'm thinking small-minded.
Okay, Irie, Leafs are winning the cup. I don't care if I get chirped by everyone. Leafs are winning the cup. It's not just the first. We're going to beat this reigning Stanley Cup champions from 2 years in a row in 5 games. And then we're going to go on and beat the President's Trophy winner by a mile, Florida, in a sweep. And then we're going to go on and play Carolina, who is the 3rd place team in the NHL, and beat Freddie Anderson once and for all. And then go on to the final. And Nazem Kadri is going to get a suspension game 1 that lasts all 7 games. But wait, we don't need 7 games. We're going to sweep them again, and we're going to win the Stanley Cup against the Colorado Avalanche, and we're going to be Stanley Cup champions. Is that...
You heard it here first, folks.
I stand, just complete disclosure, I stand to make so much more money if they do win.
Yeah, let's get downtown some money.
I stand to make so much more money if they win. I stand to make so much more money than, but
okay, Steve Dangle.
I don't do it for the money.
Can we just
being honest? I'm being honest.
Hey.
I love it.
It's the truth. Logistically, you make more videos, more content. People will be excited.
Yeah,
I get that going game 7 would make you more money. Can we do game 6 for every series? Will that work for you?
Yeah, sure. I don't care.
Okay, cool.
If they win, okay, I don't care. They could win in 4. I don't care. Winning equals more money, obviously.
I'd love to get you more money.
That's not the only thing that I care about. It means more conversations with you guys.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and you won't find yourself in Din's closet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Is there anything else that you guys want to leave off after I just said that we're going to win the Stanley Cup in like 20 games or something? Is there anything that last points that you guys want to make? Any motivational speeches? If Mitch Marner is watching this right now, Dan, actually, you know what, Dan? I need a motivational speech. Mitch Marner is going to be watching this right now. I need you.
Friend of the show, Mitch Marner.
So everyone, it's been 6 years. I told you that if we lost in the first round, there's a 1.55% chance of that happening in existence. Do you think we're going to do that? Absolutely fucking not. That's $2. This team, I made a podcast after the last year. You know, there's a picture of me in all Sens gear going, this is the one for me. I remember talking to my mom saying, you know what? It's too expensive to be a Leafs fan. Andrew, you live in Ottawa. This makes no sense. Let's not do this anymore. I go, you know what? Screw this team. I bet $500 on them to win the cup last year. Guess what it got me? Nothing. It got me absolutely nothing. But this year, put $500 back down. And you know what I'm thinking? We're going to win. And guess what? When I do win, we're going to Toronto. We're going to Real Sports. I'm buying bottles of Ciroc for the boys. Guess what? Mitch Marner, that means you. Leafs in 4. Done.
How can you lose?
How can you lose?
I guess Mitch Marner's number one motivation is Ciroc bottles at Real Sports.
Would it not work?
He's like, all right, boys, I'm ready now. Ciroc bottles.
That sounds awesome. I won't make fun of you anymore.
That one count 225. The one thing that I will add, just to bring it back to a little bit more of a hockey-centered conversation, is that the Leafs and the Lightning have a very similar play style. They have very similar jerseys. The team is structured very similarly. Someone left a YouTube comment. It was just absolutely amazing. If I could have pinned it to the top of the video. No, it was much nicer than that. They have the exact same neutral zone forecheck where it's a 1-1-3 coming back the other way. If you're watching them come back down ice, where there's 2 players up front and there's 3 guys along the blue line. And it's not a neutral zone trap, but what it does is it forces the puck carrier to one side, and then it forces the puck carrier in 2-on-1 matchups with the defending players. And the only way to really beat it is to get the puck up ice really quickly, which is what the Leafs were able to do in that 6-2 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. And it was what the Tampa Bay Lightning were able to do in that 8-1 drumming that they gave the Leafs without Matthews and Campbell. I need to add that whenever I talk about it.
And they did.
But, I mean, the Leafs are one of the better teams at dumping the puck in and recovering it this season. So at one point, I noticed that the Lightning were even playing a neutral zone trap to try to slow that down, to force the Leafs into dumping it in. And it didn't matter in that 6-2 win. They just completely overwhelmed them with Austin Matthews. I think a lot of people expect the series to be one-sided, maybe because it's the back-to-back champions, Vasilevsky and net. But I think this series is going to be high scoring between both of the teams. I think we're going to see a lot of 5-3, 5-4 type games, and it sounds like stress, nothing but stress. I'm kind of stalling until I can find that comment because it was absolutely amazing. I got to read it.
I think it's going to be fun. I mean, I say that now, but once I start watching it, I'm going to be a nervous wreck. So that kind of sucks. But I think when we finish the series, no. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
I think what's cool is this is the first time. Sorry, a quick comment here. This is the first time in a while, since Washington maybe, that we have been met with a team that we can play our style because they play the same style back. Every year, other than that, we played Boston, we played Columbus, we played Montreal, and they've all trap, or it's just been like they've stopped the Leafs from playing their
Columbus
style. But Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay plays the same fast pace, in your face, like high scoring style, and it'll be nice that we can finally be like, okay, like this is you, like Matthews, Marner, like you're gonna have a little bit of space to work here. Like I think that's super important, and I think it'll be really telling of where we are, because if we can't even win at our own style of hockey, like we don't need to get in the conversation now, but things would need to possibly change. But I'll let you get to what you were saying, Dan.
So the comment is from William Bennett here, and he says, I'm going to make a prediction for the winner of the Leafs Bold series. The winner is going to have all of the following: wears blue and white jerseys, captain who wears number 91 as the first overall pick, who has scored 60 goals at one point, has 2 number 1 centers, as a defenseman with 60 plus points this year, has a player with foot in their name, had something controversial happen in the playoffs between 1993 and 2004, has a top 2 pick in the 2009 draft. The last series that they lost was very embarrassing.
Wow.
If I could have pinned it,
I love that pick. I love that pick.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
Well, I have one final question for everyone that I'm kind of curious. Besides the core 4, who do you think is going to be the biggest playoff contributor? Like best player, I guess.
Who wants to go first?
You.
Me. All right. In terms of goal scoring or just overall on ice? Because I would say
probably overall.
Mark Giordano. I think Mark Giordano is going to
core 4, yeah.
Core 4.
I think in terms of overall on ice play, I think Mark Giordano is just going to solidify this defense. I think he really wants. I think he has the right type of veteran leadership. He can play on the PK, he can play on the power play. Like, he can give a little bit easier minutes to other guys like Riley to play a little bit more offense. I think Mark Giordano, and on the forward side, I'm going to go with Alex Kerfoot because I know we harp on him a lot and we forget he's in the lineup a lot. But I think Alex Kerfoot is going to have a big series wherever he ends up playing. Who knows if he's going to be like even scratch, but I think Kerfoot and Giordano is my guess.
So I'll go next. I think it's going to be Ilya Mikheyev. I'm just going to say that the guy wanted to be a top 6 forward last year. They were going to give him the opportunity at the beginning of this year, but then he had thumb surgery and he's come back. He's got like 21 goals in 50 something games. And you know what? A lot of people talking about what his next contract is going to look like. Just make it easy for us, man. Just light up the Tampa Bay Lightning, light up these playoffs, make it so that we can not afford you in the best way possible. Make it so that we can't afford you, but we really enjoy this last sort of ride. We've been waiting for him to break out as a goal scorer, and he's finally done it this year. It looked like he was primed to do that last year or the year before that, but just didn't in the playoffs. I'm looking for Ilya Mikheyev to have a big playoffs.
21 goals while still not even being able to shoot the puck on a breakaway. That's very impressive.
He figured that out at one point.
Yeah, I know. It's getting better. It's getting better.
Din, what's your guess? And then Mark will finish. And
Austin. Wait, you said core 4, no core 4.
No core 4.
All right, fine. I just want to say
because we know they're going to be unreal.
Pierre Engvall, baby. That's my boy.
Chad Engvall. All right.
Chad Engvall. I love Engvall. I mean, why not, right? If he's playing on a line with Nylander and Kampf, it might be that he's doing that shutdown role really well. He might be scoring, so who knows?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
35 points.
It's got to be the Kamikaze Kasha.
Kamikaze Kasha.
He's rejoining the boys, and he's just going to show them how it's done.
I love it.
And not get hurt.
Please, like God. If you're 100, I can 100% back you if he doesn't get hurt. I can 100% back you.
Yeah. Game 1, he just runs into the boards by himself. Like a crash test dummy at a car testing facility.
Well, I know downtown you've been to a couple games. Did you get to watch Kasha play ever and just watch him without the puck, or if he's like away from the play?
It's Mikhail Grabowski 2.0.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's so funny.
All right, boys, that was like a 2-hour podcast. I love it. We're going to be doing post games every single game downtown. You're always welcome to join us. Are you planning on doing any lives? Because if so, everyone ignore those and come to our channel.
Yeah.
I've tried to stray away from doing night of videos. Way too many emotions. Don't have everything to process it just yet, but who knows? I might.
Especially because you're so stat based and stuff that like I feel like doing it post game. I mean, I feel like you should do one.
Yeah.
If they win,
do one.
If they win,
Game 6.
No, that's no fun.
I'll be somewhere down with a big giant crowd and
go
live on my phone.
So we're gonna be doing post games for all of that. Go Leafs, go Leafs in 5. We're gonna win the cup. Tomorrow is the big day. Let's go.
Christmas Eve.
Wait. The last 60 seconds. I'm going to say 3-2 Leafs.
Okay.
Oh, game prediction.
Yeah.
Oh, frig.
4-2
Leafs.
Okay.
I'm gonna say game 1 team is gonna get a shutout.
Wow.
I'm not saying.
Wow, you're such a politician. Downtown, running for the MVP party. Coming.
Oh boy! Don't no. I have no political. I'm not saying that because it's a bad. I don't have any political affiliation at all with any party.
Okay, so he's running his own party.
I have to say that.
Yeah. It's called the Indecisiveness Party. Coming to you next ballot.
We know he means Campbell.
It's not that I am for or against the aforementioned party. I just have to.
Oh, okay.
There's no political affiliation.
Okay, so huge NDP fan, downtown Stephen Brown. We're gonna leave off the podcast here. Peace out.